All right, we're back with our 2020 update. Now, Joe Biden thinks he knows what America wants. Do you remember this a couple of weeks ago in an interview? Here's what he said.
I think the American people want a president who has some dignity.
As part of his crusade for dignity, this week, Joe Biden said this.
But what do? You make it to the general, you're on the debate stage. He's lying. He's saying we're doing great. That's his brand. We're stronger than ever. He starts making fun of your age, your mental state. He starts going after you in ways that
I said, come on, Donald. Come on, man. How many push-ups you want to do here, pal? You know,
right.
I mean, jokingly.
Okay, so he's challenging him to push-ups, but then Biden also said this.
Look, what I don't want to do is I don't want to be taking on other people in terms of whether or not they're what they're saying and how they're saying it.
He doesn't want to be taking on, okay, so he wants to challenge them to push-ups, doesn't want to be taking on people. I mean, talk about, Mika was concerned there about his mental capacities. I think, that was not reassuring.
Look, I think that he's not going to be in that position, so it's nice that they're fighting about this, right, for the general election. He won't be the nominee. Obviously, we see some polls when it comes to the Democrat primaries, but I think that, and he'll probably win some, but he won't be the nominee because this is a civil war going on in the Democratic Party. And I think that the individuals who might present something that's will move more to a moderate framework. They understand that Americans in general want a moderate person because they have to think about the general election, and we'll start seeing that. And I think the next debate's going to be much more, even more aggressive, and you won't see Joe Biden do well. He's not used. This is the problem with the establishment characters, as we discussed a little earlier about the left. They aren't used to being challenged, even amongst their own. And you saw how surprised, and Biden said he was surprised that Kamala Harris went after him because they don't do
it's only
this.
a debate.
Yes, you mean you're really going to debate me? They're not used to it, and you're going to see he's from a generation where they're just not prepared for it. And I think that it's cute that they're arguing about what he'd do in the general, but he's not going to have to worry about that.
So I'm torn because I kind of want him to keep going and get the nomination because he's so ridiculous and funny.
I know. I kind of disagree with you because I think there's a chance for him to get the nomination. That's how bad the Democratic Party is right now. And then also talking about just in California, because that's a big state for Democrats. Pete Buttigieg has raised more in California than Kamala Harris, who has raised more than Joe Biden. So here we are. They're all competing to lose to Donald Trump.
Henry?
Look, Donald Trump is finishing his best 2-month run in popularity of his administration.
By the way, that's based on the data, is it?
That's on the data of Real Clear Politics. He's finishing his best 2-month run of his presidency. His job approval is inching up. The net disapproval is inching down. Polls shows that he would win by 6 points against a Democrat who was considered to be a socialist. They can have their arguments all they want, but slowly Donald Trump is winning the argument.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, I mean, what's going to happen in terms of because I don't see anyone else there, to your point, Tammy, that's even sort of pretending to be moderate. I mean, they're going to end up with someone. It looks like they're going to end up with someone like Henry's describing.
Yes, but
frighten people.
Right, and that's the civil war now. What they're really fighting over is who's going to be the leader in 2024, because there's no leadership. That's why we see the chaos in the House, right, between Nancy Pelosi and AOC plus 3, is that this is a fight for supremacy in the party itself. Democrats, average Democrats, and even in her district, there's no enthusiasm. 11% of Democrats voted in her district. 11%. And she won by 4,000 votes. There's no enthusiasm anywhere. So Democrats they're going to have to figure out how to, and they think by trying to divide us and calling the president a racist and all of this is going to somehow enthuse their base. That alone is insulting if they think the average Democrat wants that.
It enthuses people on Twitter, but not when they actually go out and vote, because those people generally don't vote.
We will leave that there. Thanks for joining us, and see you next Sunday when the next revolution will be televised.